welcome to the SC Podcast. This is our pilot episode. Me, Sam, and my co-host Cordell.
What's up?
We are here, and today we're going to be discussing the current events such as the killing of George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter movement, and also the riots and unfortunate looting that's going on today in the United States of America. So, Cordell, how you want to start us off?
They just steal everything. Stop stealing stuff, man. It's not worth it. What's the reason of stealing? Is that y'all taking away from the true fact and the true matter of what happened to George Floyd. It's sad that he died the way he died to a knee of a cop, but it's just like looting and burning stuff down. It's not. It just takes away from what the true matter at hand is.
And I agree with that, man, because the fact is, okay, we need to go march, we need to go protest, we need to do everything because history does repeat itself. And just like they did in the Civil Rights Movement, of course they were sprayed, they had dogs sicked on them and everything, but hey, they still were persevering. They went through, they marched, and we can't end racism because it will always be taught. There will always be a certain group of people that will teach their kids, oh, don't like this race, don't like this color, oh, prejudice against this nationality or ethnic origin, whatever you want to be. But at the same time, we can suppress it. We can change people around, show the error of their ways. But the same thing is, if you go out and loot, and you call yourself a Christian, or you say you sit up in church, Jesus already said, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery. That's also the Ten Commandments. And Jesus reiterated that in the New Testament. So if you're going out there stealing, looting, if you're going out there, acting a fool, that's all going to come back to you. Yes, we're on earth. Yes, we think about now, but don't be materialistic and use his death for your own profit.
Right.
Because, like it says in the Bible, whole man profited for the world and he only loses his soul. And something of those lines. Don't quote me on that, but for a man to gain the whole world just to lose his soul. So you tell me you want to go and steal, get iced out watches, y'all want to break into dealerships. And I'm not criticizing any black people for any of the movement protesting because that's good. You guys keep that up. But the looters, what good does that get you? You got a new TV. You can't work for it. You take this opportunity to go and try to get your Black Lives Matter movement better, to try and show everybody that our black lives do matter. You try to do that and then you end up going and looting. And like, oh, well, I support it. But at the same time, I need to use it for something. That's not the mindset to have. If you always have that mindset, you're just going to keep backtracking on yourself. And when they find you and arrest you, you're going to be claiming, well, I'm the victim. You're not the victim. You just,
right.
you victimize yourself, yeah, but you're a suspect because you just committed a crime.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody that's putting stuff on fire, hey, I'm not saying condoning destruction of violence, but if you don't want something, you want to burn a shirt or something, that's yours, that's your property, that's your materials, go ahead and do it. I'm not condoning any destruction, but if it's your property and you want to light something up to start a riot or spark a protest, go ahead and do it. But don't end up breaking into stuff because you got some black owned businesses that are suffering from this. Yes, keep going, but at the same time be smart about it. And you don't want to get put in jail over something stupid because you weren't really part of the protest. You were just there to show up and then sneak out behind the scenes and go ahead and just loot. So I wouldn't recommend doing any more looting.
It's weird because the CNN building that they burnt on in CNN, they burnt CNN down in Atlanta is because CNN they kind of fabricate the news, and it's just like it's a bittersweet taste because Atlanta is like one of the most historic cities in America that we have with MLK and etc. And it's just that CNN, they'll fabricate the news, make it look like it's not what it's supposed to be, or make it look like it was not supposed to happen that way. And so they kind of got to taste their own medicine by just like, okay, well, they just broke some windows and destroyed some property. Luckily, nobody got killed in the act, but it's kind of for CNN. CNN got their just desserts for all the things that they have done in the past so far.
And I also want to speak about this All Lives Matter movement and the correlation of Black Lives Matter. Here's my take on it. Yes, all lives do matter. However, I got something to say about that. Black Lives Matter came as the reason because we need to understand Black lives are in jeopardy. They're getting killed. Whether it's the media portraying it or whatnot, they're still getting killed. Minorities are getting killed by police officers for basically nothing. yeah, okay, you may talk back, but some people never resist arrest. Some people, yeah, you could mouth the mouth officer, mouth off at them. But at the same time, it's not like, oh, they're physically hitting the officer, or if they're, trying to restrain themselves, like, yo, officer, can you please get off me? I'm cooperating with you. But officers may take that, oh, you're resisting arrest, so they want to struggle you, and you're not really resisting. And it ends up going through a whole sprawl in the media, and everybody gets upset about it, and then boom, somebody slaps on that sticker, All Lives Matter. Here's the thing about that. They stick on Black Lives Matter and say, yo, can you help us? It's a cry for help, saying Black Lives Matter, can you please help us, help the Black lives? Then somebody comes along, boom, All Lives Matter. So I see that as people are getting upset because they know Black Lives Matter, but they just don't want to hear it. Now, whether you're prejudiced because you want to slap All Lives Matter on, or you simply don't get the fact of the Black Lives Matter movement, you need to understand the Black Lives Matter movement is just to say, hey, Black lives are in jeopardy, they're getting killed, we're not the majority like the white population, so please help us. Please use your privilege or your power or your platform or whatever you have to come and help this movement, because we want to be equal. But if you go ahead and stick All Lives Matter on there, it's like saying, well, Black lives do matter, but at the same time, all lives matter. That's not the cause right now. All Lives Matter would happen if everybody was getting killed every which way, like police are just shooting random people. Then we have an All Lives Matter march. But this is for Black lives, because we've been seeing unarmed black men, or even if they're armed, not doing anything, saying, hey, officer, I have a gun right here, letting the officer know. But you go, reach for your ID, and the officer thinks you're reaching for the gun, and you say, officer, I'm reaching for my ID, boom, you're dead. That's what Black Lives Matter is for. Or if you're going to say, hey, officer, I'm not resisting, but officer, can you please stop, harassing me, or, strangling me, or make it to the point, where George Floyd said he couldn't breathe. That's what it's for. And they die from that. But people want to say, oh, all lives matter. Let me stick that on there. The more you stick it there, the more attention it causes. So just accept the fact, Black lives do matter. Yes, all lives matter. But right now, we're fighting for Black lives. Just like the civil rights. Fighting to get rid of segregation, to get rid of discrimination. It's still here. It may be suppressed, but it's still here. But that's what we have social networks for. To view the bad, take it out, and hopefully replace it with good.
Yeah, all lives matter. When people say all lives matter, it's mostly of the minorities, African Americans, Hispanics, Indians, Native Americans. They all say all lives matter. They want to be put in that group with us us in the black community. They want to say Black Lives Matter or all lives matter per se, is because they are also, aren't being treated the same way or treated fairly. They're not being, killed by officers like black people are, but it's just the fact that they want to be also in that bond with the black community. And also, I'll say the white people, they know when they say, they also are the main ones that say all lives matter, but they're not the ones, getting pulled out of their cars, being choked to death by a knee of an officer, being gunned down, being stalked at night, just because I have a hoodie on. But it's just, they want to try to smooth it out, but it's just that the reason the looting is happening so much and that these damage of other people's property is happening so much because it's a cry for help. It's just like, how much, if we're already at the point to where we no longer are going to just keep letting this go by. It's just that it seems that history is repeating itself, and we're not going to just continue to let history repeat itself back when it was like 100, 200 years ago. So it's just like, either you're going to hear us or we're going to act out until we're heard.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of the looting we don't condone, but you see the anger in people right now. 4 years ago, can you fact check me on what happened 4 years ago? I want to know which person unfortunately died. So yeah, 4 years ago, had the same protests, had the same riots go on, but it wasn't to the point where everything is getting looted or burnt down now. But that's the anger of the people. It's the anger of the black people, the white people, the Hispanics, the natives, whoever's joining in this. It's their anger because they're tired of seeing, oh, black lives are being jeopardized, black lives are being taken for granted. Because America was built on the back of indigenous and Africans. People don't want to hear that though. They'll hear what the history book tells them, whatever it's written for, but hey, guess what? The story is always written to the victor. Maybe it'll tell you some parts, but it won't tell you all parts. You had the slave trade, they brought them over here. What America was built on backs of blacks, natives, and other people of color. So yeah, the white people that say all lives matter, you know, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. However, I want to let you know the fact is Black Lives Matter right now. In this day and age, you think it's not the same as the 60s and the 50s? It's the same thing. It may be suppressed, but right now, it's brought to light. There's a lot of white supremacists out here. There's a lot of people that's going to march against this. There's a lot of people that support Donald Trump and use his name in vain and all that. And, you know, our president, you know, he's acting on Twitter. He's acting upon whatever Twitter does or whatever social media wants to suppress him by. Yeah, he got some good stuff to say. Yeah, he most of the time he says some stuff that's off the wall. But they just want to use his name and, you know, boost their own profits. And besides, our leaders, eventually they will care about this. And they'll tell you, look, we're looking into it. We're going to resolve it. We're going to have a whole good solution. But at the end of the day, a couple years down the line, the same leaders just want their pockets to get bigger. So understand, they care about you, but they care about your vote so they can get bigger. They can get better for their own self. So they use you to boost their own popularity. They use you to boost their own pockets. So make sure you know where you're donating. Make sure you know how to get in contact with the right people so that way we can all resolve this. Like I said, this won't end. This can't be ended. Because there will always be people that will grow up being taught how to be racist, or people that will grow into that grandfather situation where they're saying, oh, don't like this color, don't like this ethnic origin, don't like any of this. There will always be that. All we can do is just try to suppress it. But as the Bible says, the love for one another will wax cold, and that's what's happening right now. So we're heading towards this time where nobody will love one another. We're all unified now, but it's only group versus group. It's going to be us, the people that want to, you know, fight and stand for black lives and stand for, you know, everybody's lives, but right now it's black lives. It's going to be us that's trying to stand for something versus those that are, you know, suppressing whatever their prejudice is. And that's what it is. It's going to be a hate war. I can't say it'll be a civil war part 2, but right now it seems like it may head that way. But at the same time, they can call martial law if things get out of hand. So please be smart with what you're doing. Understand, if they call martial law, that means we lost. So learn how to fight, please.
And I say, if you, the best way to fight, if you can't voice your opinion, register to vote. That's the best thing to do. If you know the person that you don't like that's in the seat that you want to get out, register to vote. Make sure you know a friend, a family, anyone that's able to vote. Make sure they're registered to vote and go to those polls and vote for the person that you want in that seat. Because you may vote for this person because they say they'll help you, you know, financially or in that aspect, but if they're racist, then if you find out they're racist and you put them in, then it's kind of like, oh man, I picked the wrong person to put in the seat. Go vote. That's how we can also fight against this and put the right people in the seat to have our backs.
And make sure you do some research on people, because people will bicker, they will try, you know, plead their case to you, and they will try to get you on their side. Most of these politicians and officials, they want to get you something to hear what's good for you. They want to say, oh, we'll give you some stimulus checks, we'll give you money, we'll help you build your community. They say all that on the campaign trail, but when they get in office or sit down in their seat, what do? The exact opposite. And then, oh, we just voted them in. So do your research, do all the background knowledge that you can. Don't just sit there and hear, oh, I'm Joe Biden, I approve this message, I'm for the black people, the Democrats. Democrats don't love you, Republicans don't love you. They may say something to try to get on your side and pander to you, but they don't love you in the end. Only thing they love is their pockets. That's all that they love. And you fact checked on the 2016 thing for me?
Yeah, it was Trayvon Martin. That's when the Black Lives Matter movement started in effect, when, you know, everybody knows about the tragedy of Trayvon Martin being shot to George Zimmerman. So that's once that happened and he got charged but obviously became not guilty and beat his case, that's when they started the Black Lives Matter movement, and it just continued on from then.
And everybody, there's a lot of conspiracy theories concerning Antifa and anti-fascists and George Soros. Look, do your research on all that too. Keep going. Don't stop. If somebody tells you, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, you know, you're stupid or whatever, or dumb, just keep doing your research. All I gotta say is spread the truth. Don't spread anything that's fabricated. If you know it's 100% a fact, tell it. If it's your opinion, let your opinion be known, because hey, your opinion matters at the end of the day. It may not matter to some people, but you have a voice and use it. If you have a platform, use it. See, we're using our platform here. See, I'm a college student, Cordell's a working man. We're both out of Tampa Bay Tech. We're just two kids from Tampa Bay Technical High School trying to make a difference. And that's by using our voice, using our platform. We can't just sit around and see all the communities get burned down, torn to shambles, have people come in and invade and take advantage of everybody. No, we want to make sure everything's better for everybody because we love one another. Regardless of if you hate me, you're racist, you're prejudiced, still show love. Even if they get you angered, still show love. That's the best thing to do. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to get judged by God. And whether you believe in him or not, you're going to have to bow down before him. That's my opinion. That's my belief. And whatever we do, looting here, don't do it. Because why? God's going to have that strike against you as a sin. So act smart. Don't act dumb. Don't go out there act a fool. Just protest, raise your fists in the air. Just walk up on them. Keep walking. They stop you from marching. Eventually somebody in the high office is going to do something. JFK could do it. Hey, you never know what Trump could do or what our next leader could do. And also get to the polls in November. Just because this coronavirus or all these protests and riots are going on, go ahead and just register to vote if you're already not. Get to the polls. Don't let it be like 2016 where everybody was like, oh man, I don't want to go vote. So you didn't vote. And look what happened. Y'all wanted Hillary for Democrats, but Trump beat her. The odds were against him, but he beat her. Why? Y'all didn't show up. Y'all talk a lot about I want this, I want that. Everybody could talk. It's about how you act. So go act upon what you say and get to the polls. And if you really want change, you'll convince other people to go to the polls and do the same thing. Got anything else to add for that?
Yeah, I can just add one more thing. There has been multiple people that has used their platform to express themselves, like, you know, the great YouTuber Markiplier. Markiplier has expressed his opinion on how he feels. He's all for the George Floyd, you know, the black community. He's also put out a very, very, very generous donation to a charity that helps the lawyers to prosecute the people that did that crime. There's also, you know, the mixture streamer Ninja. He also has put out that he is very upset from what he's seeing. How there's another point in time there's a black man being killed by an officer, and he's just he's not appreciating those type of things. And also there's T.I., you know, the man himself from Atlanta. He also put out that he wants to do a blackout 2020, which would be July 7th, where he wants to make sure that every African American black man, woman, kid, child, any working black person to not spend a dime on that said date, because even though we are a minority, we do put out the most money than any other race in America. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, and go support your black-owned businesses, like for real. Not just saying, but actually go do it. Go look at some black-owned hair products, you know, people that black-owned, you know, shoe businesses, whatever. Go help support them. This is what I say. I know that some black people don't have a lot of money, you know, because we're put in or how we grow up. You know, we're not as fortunate as some of the other white people or people that have a lot of money. Not trying to single anybody out. But at the same time, you'll go buy Gucci, Chanel, Dior, Michael Kors, and you see everybody else living basic. Oh, you go buy $200 Jordans. I ain't even going to sit here and be a hypocrite. I have $200 Jordans in my closet. But at the same time, we got to understand, go support those that support you or those that need your help so we could be unified. Because if we're going to spend our hard-earned money on something that's high priced just to look good, they don't care about us. They won't give back to the community. All they're going to do is say, oh, keep reeling in. They pander through hip-hop. They pander through entertainment. They pander to get all this iced-out stuff. Like I said, you can't take stuff to the grave with you when you die. You can't take none of that. That's not going to help you get to heaven. You worship it might get you to hell. But you don't need to worry about trying to be all iced out for anybody, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to care. Oh, you look good. Yeah. We call it look good from the heart. Don't look good on the outside and be rusty on the inside. Don't be a pile of trash when somebody draws back the curtain. Have a heart of gold when somebody draws back the curtain. So we need to understand. Don't worry about spending at big retailers, whatnot. Just do your thing. Be you. Learn how to be comfortable in your own skin. Black people, stand up. Colin, stand up for us. a lot of people say, oh, he's taking a knee, blah blah blah. Some veterans approve of that because he has his right. Take a knee for police brutality. It's not taking a knee to say screw the veterans. He's not saying that. He's saying he's taking a knee because he's tired of seeing black people get beat up mercilessly by police officers. Simple as that. He's tired of the brutality. And also, there were some reports of police officers shoving a woman. She had a seizure. Was it in New York? Can you fact check that real quick? I believe that was in New York. A woman was pushed by an officer and she had a seizure. Yeah, so I saw that on Twitter. That was unfortunate. And I also saw an officer swing at somebody for doing nothing. And I did see in New York, somebody was telling the officer, what are you going to do? Okay, he's just talking. He didn't physically assault the officer. The officer just pushed him down for no reason. Yeah, he said, what you going to do? Okay, that's nothing. It's not like, oh, he said, officer, I'm going to come punch you, blah, blah, blah. That's a whole different story. He just said, what are you going to do? Officer pushed him. Officer didn't have to push him. Just like a woman standing there in the street. She won't get out the way. She's just marching. Officer pushes her. She has a seizure. Now who's at fault? Now you see what's happening? That's why we're taking stands like that.
Yeah, your fact checked out. It was in New York. A woman allegedly suffered a violent seizure from being rushed to the hospital in Brooklyn after being shoved forcefully to the ground by an NYPD officer as she protested for the death of George Floyd. The woman has been identified by others at the scene, not going to say any names, who had continued to post updates of her condition from the hospital, claims that she was in no way was aggressive towards the police officer. So that's just another way of showing that police officers, we're protesting, that there may be people out there protesting, but not everyone is coming in a violent, aggressive manner. There'll be peace-loving protesters out there, but you're going at the wrong people, you're attacking the wrong people, and a woman suffered a very violent seizure from this incident.
And well, that kind of wraps up our thing for today. We just want to say, guys, keep protesting. Please stop looting.
Please stop.
Yeah, it's not going to do any good. I understand your frustration, but hey, keep marching. Have your voice heard. Turn that frustration, use it in your voice. Go stand at the Capitol buildings. Go stand at City Hall. Go do whatever you can. Make them hear you. Not by fire, not by brimstone, not by shooting up anything, because that's just going to make it worse. They're going to arrest you. Your voice is going to be suppressed if you get arrested. So just get your voice heard. March outside. Sleep outside at City Hall or whatnot, so they can see that y'all actually moving for something. Do those actions. Don't loot. Don't kill. Don't steal. Don't do any of that. Just keep your voice heard. Black Lives Matter. Stop putting that bumper sticker over it, trying to suppress it, saying all lives matter. Because right now, Black Lives Matter. Simple as that.
And lastly, go to those poll booths. Get registered to vote. Go vote in November. Get the right person that you feel like is going to make everything as best as possible in November. That's the best way you get your voice heard, is by going to vote, register to vote, and vote for the person that will put you in the best position to try to minimize and suppress these black men killings.
And that is it for us. This is the SC Podcast. I'm Sam, and this is...
I'm Cordell.
Cordell McClain himself, the former football star. So we will see you guys next time for investing. Please do what we said, and hey, stay blessed.
Stay blessed.